Fins up, only fans, but with a PH. You heard? Yo. White, orange, and teal. The fins look real, you know it's a deal. There's blood, sweat, and tears. All up in his huddle with water to cook up a meal. My coaching in two with the combo was chill. Play action to chase, got hunger to feel. The cheetah is loose, he's going for blood. The end of the race only went for the kill. Miami, the city, the county, the block. We steady and packed, tail dead in the lot. Defense was strong and hard as a rock. Holland's a lock, and next one's a spot. Getting too hot, so turn up the fan. You look to the crowd, see Jimmy and Bam. Martin, Joe, and Sosa the mans. Your fellas, roll the clip, only fans.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy So, and welcome back to the channel for another week of OnlyFans, a Dolphins post-game show with reaction, analysis, and a whole lot of heart. Now, before we get this party started, we ask that you hit the like button on this video, hit the comment button to let us know what you think, and turn on the post notifications to catch our next video. Now, with me today for the post-game recap, you know him, you love him, the co-host of Sports with So. We got Joel. Joel, brother, tell me how you're feeling about this game, delusional Dolphin.
Hey, baby, we continue to roll. We're just rolling with it. You know what I'm saying? We're doing what we had to do, and we standing on business right now.
We're standing on business. That's a fact. You guys know that he's our favorite skeptic, undoubtedly Skylar Thompson's #1 fan. Martin, what's up, brother? How you feeling about this game?
How am I feeling about that run game, you mean? Run game.
Ooh. All right. I see you, my boy. And last but definitely not least, bringing the noise and the future Dolphins super fan, friend of the show, Rax. Talk to me. How'd you feel about this game, brother?
Whoa, we got to unmute Rax.
It was incredible to wake up to. I can tell you that much. It was definitely incredible to wake up to.
Let's go, man. And as you guys know, before we jump into this recap, the Dolphins walk away with a big victory at home, making it in 2 straight victories, 42-21 over the Carolina Panthers, keeping them winless in the NFL and moving the Dolphins even better up in the positioning when it comes to the AFC. Now, fellas, this game was really a tale of 2 quarters, right? When we talk about the first half, but we did see some things today that really stood out for me. Most importantly, the offensive line play. You know, we talk about this week in, week out, how important this offensive line is right now and the way that they've been gelling. It's amazing to see these guys without 2 quote-unquote starters and still being able to dominate other teams up front and really create a lot of running space.
Yeah, we got to shout out for sure the guys that are holding it down right now. Kendall Lamb and Isaiah Wynn, who are stepping up right now for Connor Williams and Teron Armstead, who's on IR for the next 4 weeks. Is it that, or he might not come back at all this season? Mm-hmm. But they stepped it up, man. The first 2 drives were just kind of weird. We went 3 and out, basically. You know, we haven't seen that from the Dolphins, and then especially coming into a game against the Carolina Panthers where they were favored by 14 points at home. We're thinking, all right, we're going to come out here, we're going to come out guns blazing, and first, our defense lets up a touchdown. They get the ball all the way down the field. And then we're like, all right, offense is going to bounce back and just do what they do. And they didn't. And it was kind of questionable play calls for one of them on the first drive. And the second drive, definitely a questionable decision by Tua, making a throw backwards that almost resulted in a fumble, but ended up figuring that out. And the game got a lot better after that.
Yeah, it did, but, you know, going down 14-zip was definitely not in the script today, right? Like, I'm sure that the Dolphins wanted to get out to a fast start and really dominate this team. Martin, once we were down 14-zip, right, what were your thoughts on what needed to change in the game in order to give the Dolphins an advantage or give them a swing in momentum?
First of all, you got the script? Because I didn't see the script, man. All I saw was that
hook your boy up?
No, I'm wondering because I need to connect. Honestly, the first thing I gotta say every week, other than the Bills week, the offensive line has played like that elite offensive line we've been hoping for probably the last 20 years. We haven't had that, maybe 15, maybe the Jake Long years. We were nasty on the O-line, but it's beautiful to see, and it's led, in my opinion, it's probably my opinion only, by Austin fucking Jackson. That guy has been impeccable this whole season. Even in the Bills game, he wasn't the one that really gave you any issues.
That's a great call out. That's a great call out because, you know, Austin Jackson was a guy who got a lot of heat last year, right? And really took a lot of that
years
straight to the face. Yeah, and becoming a guy who needed to grow into that position. And now we see him really dominating at that position. But eventually we did get the momentum going, and Mostert had his first of 3 touchdowns today. Rax, what were your thoughts on Mostert's ability to continue to add to his game and not really let those fumbles from last week get to him?
I mean, it was incredible, man. Just by the amount of touches that he got and the amount of yards and touchdowns that he got, you can really see how he was pushing. Like, he didn't get a lot of touches, and he still racked up a decent amount of yards. And, bro, listen, baby, we're 5-1, man. Like, we're just pushing. We're pushing. We're pushing. We're, as a typical Dolphin fan, you always criticize the O-line. You always talk down about the O-line. Our O-line has been trash. And, week in and week out, it's gotten better. Even without Teron Armstead, that main captain piece there, we're still holding it down and we're pushing through the line, man.
For sure. You made a great point there. Mostert doesn't necessarily get a ton of carries like the rest of the NFL, elite running backs get, right? We're talking about getting 18 to 20 something carries a game. This dude only had 17 carries today for 115 yards. And when he's doing things like this, coming out of the backfield and catching balls for touchdowns, like, it's just showing you how versatile he is. You know what I mean? And something that I want to point to you guys on this, look at this block right here by Smite. You're going to see it at the bottom. Boom. Clears him up and gives him all that room to score an easy touchdown for him. And again, I think that was just the point where we were able to like really take momentum of this game, take hold of this game, and be like, all right, Panthers, we gave you guys a little head start. Now we're going to turn it up on defense. And we did, because we were able to have them turn the ball over on downs, which was really impressive. Wouldn't you say, Joel?
I mean, completely 0 points allowed after those first 2 touchdowns that they had. Granted, I know they put up another touchdown, but that was on Mike White, who almost cost a lot of people some money.
Don't get too ahead of us.
But the defense ended up stepping up and playing how they should have been playing those first 2 possessions. We saw the D-line all over Bryce Young today. Which Jalen Phillips was back. But we saw a lot of Brad Chubb. We saw a lot of Christian Wilkins. We saw the Power Ranger coming out today, all over Bryce Young.
This guy right here? Oh, that's
you got it. You got it queued up for us. Let's see if we have a good Christian Wilkins highlight there with one of his 2 sacks today.
We wanted sacks. We got it.
No, not the Spider-Man.
Just the Power
Man. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Christian Wilkins, man. He had a huge game today. Jalen Phillips also had a pretty good game. The defense is looking good. Kader Kohu, early on, I think he got, but he bounced back. He ended up, playing the rest of the game pretty well, pretty tight on coverage. Even though Adam Thielen had a day and it was mostly on Kader Kohu. But Xavier Howard also got hurdled nasty early on in the game on one of those first drives. But again, they bounced back. So it was kind of like they weren't expecting that. I think they kind of expected Carolina to like roll over just because they haven't won a game this year. And then they got like a quick jab to the mouth like early on in the game. And they was like, oh shit, like that's right. These guys are an NFL team. Let's tighten up a little bit, boys. And then they did.
We bounced back though, dog. You know what I'm saying? And I think we were able to bounce back because of how explosive this offense is. You know what I'm saying? Rax, when you what were your thoughts real quick on Waddle's, touchdown that he connected with Tua to tie the game up, 4-yard touchdown? What'd you think of that play?
I mean, it's a beautiful play. You watch it. It even had Steve Ross up there doing the damn Waddle, man. Like, if you got the owner of the team dancing like you do, you know you're lighting it up, bro.
Good celebration.
It's absolutely a great celebration. But Waddle's my guy, man. I pick Waddle every time in fantasy. I am not. I don't let that guy slip up. Tyreek is obviously being Tyreek. He's doing incredible things. I mean, what do you guys think? 2,000 yards?
No, for sure. He's getting there. And something that I want to point out about Waddle, this is the second game in a row where he gets started quickly and often, right? And he gets a lot of big plays, big catches, big back-to-back receptions. And then that opens up the game for Tyreek Hill to do his thing and blow up and really, find those mismatches and put something together. It's crazy to see this tandem working, Martin. And I just think that we're blessed to have 2 type of receivers like we do.
No, I agree. And that play was kind of weird because Tyreek Hill could have probably crawled into the end. Well, he wasn't in the end zone. He wasn't already in the end zone wide open. Yeah. And Waddle got the tougher pass. Hey, we got it. Can't complain. But it was like, okay, all right, I'll take it. But I do want to bring up a point. A couple weeks ago, you guys asked me, what do you guys think about Mostert? Can he carry the load? A-Chain's gone for this week, and look what he does. I just want to make sure I put that out there.
Well, I think I think Rax hit it on the head earlier. You know what I mean? This is a dude who's making the most with the limited abilities or plays that he's getting in this offense, right? Because this is an offense that's full of options, full of, track stars, guys who can go up and get it, guys who can make explosive plays and really break into the house. And, when a guy like Mostert has 3 catches for 17 yards, 17 carries for 115 yards, just shows you how versatile he can be. But the issue was with him and protecting the football. Today we saw him, I don't know if it was consciously or subconsciously, really taking care of the football and really allowing himself to
he knows
to dominate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think he knows he messed up last week, and he had to tighten that up. And look, something to point out, he had a 49-yard carry on that Waddle touchdown right before, right? And really put us in a position to make an easy touchdown. Joel, what are your thoughts on Mostert's, bounce back that he showed today?
I mean, he's just lucky that Achane is hurt this week and he didn't get a chance to play, honestly, because he would have got all those stats and touches. But Mostert's he's a dog, bro. He had a couple long runs, like over 10 yards, I want to say. He had a couple that he couldn't break away. Actually, there was one that was funny. He ran into I forget, maybe Liam Eichenberg, who's now playing center for us. He ran into him and he was upset. Like he was like, God,
it was Ingold.
Man, get out the way. It was Ingold. Yeah, that's right. He did run into Ingold. And he, you can tell he wants that big play every time. And that's what you're gonna get with him. He can definitely produce even at 31 years old that he is right now. He's still one of the fastest guys in the league, one of the fastest guys in the team. So you got to get him the ball. Early on in the game, those first 2 drives when we didn't get anything established, I was like, why aren't we just running the ball? Like just run the ball. Get a couple more yards, 3-4 yards every time chunk plays, and then the passes are going to be there as we saw. We're always going to open up the passing lanes. Tyreek Hill had a day, dog. That kid had a day, and I want to talk about him for a second because the Dolphins Stadium seemed a little bit down, and early on, when we were down 14-zip, obviously, the fans are going to be fair where the fans in the stadium like, oh shit, we suck again. And Tyreek made one play, bro. He ran it all the way down to the end zone. He was like, come on, man, let's go. Let's get in this shit again. And then boom. We ended up scoring on that drive, and the rest was history. So shout out to Tyrese.
He's a spark plug here, bro. And God bless the day that we got this guy in the trade, though, because what it's really been able to do for Mike McDaniel and his genius when it comes to offense, right, and putting our best players in the best positions to do their best. We're really seeing it, right? And because this offense is really high potent. And you mentioned it. Let's see it. Here's the throw from Tua on a freaking dime to Tyreek Hill. Whoa, give me a second here. Oh, no.
Try that one more time, Chief.
There it is. There it is. A dime. Well, damn, it's not showing it. I don't know why. But we got the better part, which was the celebration. Look at this touchdown.
Backflip on the iPhone, baby.
Backflip point of view, baby. Let's go.
He's going to get a hefty fine for that.
That guy is a kid, man.
It begs the question. Honestly, that begs the question, though. What was the best celebration of the day? Because we saw Waddle had a waddle. We saw Remember the Titans, right? A little bit of Remember the Titans from the whole day. Yeah. And then we saw the backflip, dog. So I think at the end we have to have a vote on the best celebration of the day.
I mean, I've never seen anybody take an iPhone. I mean, obviously that's it. That's his media guy, but I've never seen anybody take an iPhone and do a backflip, literally live. So it's like, yeah, absolutely. But listen, I wanted to touch back on Mostert right quick. You might have a point there, Joel, about Achane, not being the leader, because right now there's 3 people with the most scrimmage touchdowns. There's Raheem Mostert, he has 11. There's Christian McCaffrey, he has 9, and there's Devon Achane, who has 7. So literally first year in the league, and he's got top 3 in scrimmage touchdowns. That's crazy, bro.
And he's missing a game.
No, what's crazier is that we have 2 of the top 3, right? Mark?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no. To me, that and not only that, because somebody just said it. He had 1 game missed, and then he played the Patriots game, but he had like 2 snaps, and then he missed this game. He was number 2 in yards before the game started.
Wow.
That to me is like seven touchdowns and second in yards. I'm not knocking him by any shot.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying Mostert, when he gets the opportunity, he's making the most out of it, and I know he wants to get paid on that 1-year deal that he has left. So, let's see.
He's definitely the Raheem the Dream, as they call him.
He's earning it, right? Like he's really putting in the work and really allowing himself to shine, right? Like I said, in a room full of talent, right? Because there's a room full of talent right now in that Dolphins locker room, and it's tough to compete in your own team, which is just great. The Dolphins took the lead right there into halftime, 21-14. Local boy Eddie Pinero, he's from South Florida. I think he played at Dade Christian or something like that, and he missed a 43-yard field goal heading into the halftime. And I think that's when Carolina knew this game was over and they had no shot, because even though the Dolphins went 3-and-out coming out of halftime, the defense kept the pressure on the Panthers, really on Bryce Young, who played a really great game, by the way. We must commend him on his game today. The kid looked very composed, didn't throw the ball away, didn't put it into danger, made really good throws, 0 interceptions, 0 fumbles, really clean game from Bryce Young. Got to give him a shout out there. But we got the sack to force a punt, and then Tyreek Hill got loose for a big gain. Comes out of the game, he was cramping a little bit, and then Mostert back to his powerful running, as we can see right here, thanks to the NFL Network and Miami Dolphins, as he plows into the end zone for his second touchdown of the day, his first rushing touchdown. And look at that blocking, boys. Just look at that. Like, Panthers have nobody right there. And it's just showing you how when the Dolphins go hat on hat, it's really tough to match up against this offensive line. And it's nasty because we haven't seen this in a real long time, huh, Mark?
Yeah, it's honestly one of our weakest. Like, we had a decent O-line a couple years ago, but we always had those Jesse Davis pieces that we had to fill in, and then somebody else that it's like you never had a good unit. Now we actually have depth. We have 2 people that were out. Our starting center, which I don't care what everybody says, he's playing elite football when he's on the field, and arguably one of the top 5 left tackles in the league. Without them, we look like that. I get it, it's the Panthers, but it's still an NFL team at the end of the day. You got to protect the quarterback. It's been happening. You open up the run game. Our pass game, when we have a run game, bro, we're elite. Somebody gave me the stat, 30 runs overall and 32 passes, I think it was. Balance, that's all I want. Since last year, what have I said? Balanced attack, that's all I want.
This time last year, to Martin's point, we probably would have seen something like 40-20 versus 30-30. You know, we would have seen a lot more of that forced passes. And shout out to Tua, man. It's a guy we haven't really talked about. You know, pretty clean game, you know, overall. A couple mistakes early on, but for the most part, you know, he got rid of the ball when he needed to. He found the dump offs, you know, went through his progressions. You know, he looked good. Granted, they're not a great defense, but you know, you can easily give away the ball. You know, he didn't do that. He protected it.
That's my quarterback.
We need to stop saying it. Everybody says it was not a good team, but on film, you're not looking at the opposite team. You're looking at what you did as a unit. So at the end of the day, if you put up bad film as a team that's going against a bad team, then you know that looks bad. But if you're a good team, nobody's gonna say, "Damn, you didn't do well enough against a bad team." It just, I hate that it's an NFL team. And they look, they put up 14 points in the first quarter. Like, we were like just shocked. Like, what the hell is going on here? We need to get on our shit, and it happened because we're playing the Philadelphia Eagles next week. We need to be on our shit. I don't care if they lost to the Jets.
That's a great point, Martin, because like if you think about it, this defense and this team is playing under a lot of hype, a lot of pressure. People want to know if we really are that good. And yeah, you can bounce back against a team like the Panthers, but maybe that bounce back becomes a little bit harder against another AFC playoff team or somebody that's a higher caliber team, right? But what we're seeing from the Dolphins that's really impressive is their ability to bounce back. Once we got that momentum, on our side, we never looked back. It was touchdown, pound the ball, continue to get first downs. We had 14 first downs through the air, 8 through the ground. Like, that's just a commitment to finding whatever works and making the game work for the Dolphins. And it really worked, today for us because we kept the pressure on them defensively. Like, we got them to do another turnover on downs, where we came up big on a 4th and 2, another sack, Sealer getting into the backfield. We had 4 sacks today. Chubb got a sack. Wilkins, a guy we showed earlier, he got a sack. Like,
back-to-back sacks. Just
back-to-back sacks, as like Rex pointed out. Just crazy to see how when we're clicking, we really look like a team that's unbeatable, regardless of whatever team we're playing. And we saw the dominance continue where Mostert got his 3rd touchdown of the day, where he was again able to just pound the rock in there. Offensive line getting that amazing push, boom, and then letting everybody make some space for him to get through. And that was pretty much the game because, like I said, we saw Mostert just taking the most out of his opportunities and getting into the end zone any way he can. It's just super impressive. Second game so far this season where he has 3 touchdowns, 0 games prior to that in his career where he had 3 touchdowns. I don't know what you think about that, Joel.
But I know we gotta make sure we don't get too ahead of ourselves. This is a great win, great 2-game homestand. All right, but can we do it now against the Eagles? We saw what happened when we went up to Buffalo a couple weeks ago, and we didn't get the dominating performance offensively that we wanted for the entirety of the game. Came out, had a good initial showing, and then it kind of tapered off, and the Bills were the ones with the momentum for the rest of the game. I know the Jets just won. They beat the Eagles. Shout out to the 72 Dolphins who are popping champagne tonight for their record that's still safe with the Eagles, and also the Niners losing today. But that's the real test. Can we beat a playoff or a championship contender, in this part of the season with this team that we have right now?
I think we. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Marty. Go ahead.
What I wanted to say with that is that I think the only game we haven't been balanced was that Bills game, and I think that's going to be the key to being good down the line. If we get away from the run game, it's not going to be good for us. We're not meant to be. Ultimately, we don't want to be a team that our defense is on the field more than it should be. We're a team. I've come to that's just the thing. Our defense, we need to play with the lead. Like that's the type of defense we have at the moment.
Sure, yeah, I can see that. But they got us back this game. We didn't have the lead, and they got us back. Granted, an inferior opponent, but with somebody like the Bills and the Eagles, it's the game script. So if they're not letting us run the ball because their front seven is way better than the Carolina Panthers.
A10 had 100 yards.
But hold on,
here's the Bills.
One of them was a big run though that he got the chunk play on.
Only.
Here's my thing, right? When it comes to looking at this by NFL team, by NFL team, by NFL team, right? For me, yeah, the Eagles were good last year, and we know that they can be good this year, but they have to prove it. They've gotten some close wins this year. We've gotten some quality wins, right? We've gotten some wins where we were ahead a lot and we could relax. Some games that we had to come back, like today, right? Where we kind of trip on ourselves and got to pick ourselves up and get the W however we can. And we did that in an impressive fashion. Yeah, I know what you're saying, that it'll mean more, right, when we do it against a team like the Eagles, but it's going to mean everything every time we play another team, because every week is going to be that important for us. We're 5-1 right now. We haven't been this since what, in like 21 years? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Bubble. We were like 15, 14 years old since the last time that ever happened.
Mike McDaniels said it. Oh, I can cue up that clip if you want.
Yeah, get it ready. But that's what I'm saying. Like, week to week, every game is going to matter. Every week is going to be important, and every dub is going to be important, because it's going to mean that we have better positioning for what is our ultimate goal, the playoffs.
Oh, my God.
I agree. And I'm probably the most realistic here, saying that we have not shown anybody anything. I don't feel like we're not pouncing on anybody. We're playing teams that really are,
Yeah, but we're blowing them out.
I'm a Herbert. I'm a Herbert fan, but that's the only, and we beat them. But at the end of the day, we only beat them by a touchdown. We haven't beat anybody with a quality record or somebody that really. I'm realistic.
No, realistically, is that the Dolphins are number 1 in rushing, number 1 in passing in the NFL, one of the top 15 defenses, and that's what makes us a good team.
And
that's the realistic,
We're a phenomenal team. There's no denying that. We're a phenomenal team, and we have a lot of potential. But I slightly understand where Martin's coming from, in the sense that you look back at our record. Yeah, we're 5-1, best record since 2002 for the Dolphins. Best start to the season, I should say. But in that, you have a struggling Patriots team who is that's to put it nicely. You know what I'm saying? A Giants team who is not the Giants of last year. A Panthers team who's still winless this year. That's 3 of the 5 already. The other 2 were the Chargers, who are, they're a good team. They're playing the Cowboys this week. We'll see what they do. And who was the other one that I'm missing there?
The 70-point Denver, boy.
Oh, Denver. I mean, you look at Denver and their issues that they're having. So I understand where Martin's coming from, but that is why I'm saying, because that's why I'm saying my real measuring stick for this team has been that Bills game. And I didn't like what I saw. So it's like, you want to redeem yourself. Let's go out and let's go get a win against Philadelphia next week.
Hold on.
I think go ahead.
Go ahead, Martin. Go ahead. Finish your thought, because I got to
my only thing with the Bills is that we got away from who we were planning to be this year. McDaniel kept saying we're going to run the ball this year. we stopped doing it. We literally had 9 or 10 carries through 3 quarters. That was horrible. I don't care. They weren't stopping us. If you don't run the ball, you have 9 carries. You can't say somebody's stopping you because you have 30 yards on 9 carries. It just doesn't make sense to me. We gave them the game.
The game plan was completely skewed. After that second touchdown or second drive where we were trying to go tit for tat and just trying to match them, throwing the ball. Like you said, Martin, we got away from ourselves. But here's something that I want to point out to you guys. And maybe I'm just tripping because I'm a Dolphins fan, but this is also a realistic thing, right? We're using this Philadelphia game and saying, all right, let's see how we stack up against this really good team, 5-1, coming off a loss, right? Let's look at who they played. They beat a bad New England team, right? Because we beat New England.
And New England almost came back on them.
Correct. They beat Minnesota, right, at home, 34-28. Barely beat them. Beat a bad Tampa Bay team, 25-11. Beat a bad Washington team. Beat a bad Washington team, 34-31 in overtime. Beat a bad LA Rams team, 23-14. Like, they're not necessarily beating the best of the best or teams that are really going to be in the playoffs. So my point with that is saying they're just doing the same thing we're doing, winning whatever the game is, whoever's in front of us. That's the task at hand. Win this game, and we'll see it from there. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're going to match up good with these guys because I just think that we're that good because the stats say that we're that good.
I don't like stats. I don't care for stats. I'm the type of person that not only am I thinking of the Eagles, but we have to go to Germany as well. So I'm looking at 2 back-to-back games. But now that I'm sticking on the Eagles, at the end of the day, we know who the Eagles are. They're a good defensive team with a good running attack and a very good quarterback. And they've shown that. It's not a team that just out of the blue is putting up just crazy numbers that the media just loves talking about. I want to prove it against those type of teams, and we haven't done that yet. And until that happens, I'm just another Joe Schmo just talking about it.
This is a big 2-week stretch coming up for the Dolphins right here. Big 2-week stretch.
Number 1 offense in the NFL is nothing to scoff at, dog. You know,
we're not. I'm trust me, I'm elated, dude.
I think we're giving the Eagles too much credit because I don't think that they're
no,
as good
not
as
at all. I
people
think you're looking at the argument all wrong. I think you got to focus on more so that we're just saying that the measuring stick so far has been the Bills game. That's a loss. The other games you got to take them as a wash, dog. The Dolphins with this team, we've seen what they did last year. We expected that this year. Now we're expecting them to beat an Eagles team that was just in the Super Bowl this year. That's what we're saying.
You know why I care less about the stats right now? Because we went 3-0, 0-3, 5-0, 0-5 last year. That's why I care less about stats.
Yeah, but this is different.
Why?
The O-line is good. This is different. We've never seen this O-line play well.
It's better than last year. It definitely is. It's night and day from last year. Night and day. I saw a stat today.
I can't jump in here, bro. This guy's
one last thing. I think I saw a stat today that said something about games where Tua is sacked less than 2 times or something like that. In games that he sacked more than 2 times, we're like 10-10. And in games that he sacked less than 2 times, it's ridiculous. It's like 15-5 or something like that.
Bro, it's not crazy. It's not crazy, dog. Look, Dolphins averaging 400. Yo, go ahead.
Bro,
go ahead, Rex.
Bro, listen, man. I get you don't like stats, but I see it in the perspective of, okay, we haven't beat nobody. Fine. But the way that we beat them is incredible. You're supposed to beat this team, knock them in the fucking mouth. And that's exactly what we're doing. Buffalo, you're absolutely right. We're not playing like the Miami Dolphins of 2023. We're playing a different team. We're playing a different game. Philly, I think Philly's a good team. I'm not even going to hold y'all. I think Philly's a good team. I think they've got a great quarterback, a great O-line. I think they got a great receivers. I expect this to be a good fight. The following week after that, it should be a blowout at home. And then we got to prep for Kansas City because I'm a firm believer that if we want to get to wherever we want to get to, all roads lead to Kansas City, bro. That's just what I believe. And that's where I hold my bar.
Oh, yeah. We're the only team in the NFL that scored over 200 points this year, dog. 223. The next closest one, let's see, that's 184 by the 49ers. So, like, what are we like when we talk about? And that's a great team, a team that other teams will look at and be like, yo, that's the real deal. And I'm not saying that we should be like getting all this praise to say like, oh, the Dolphins are the real deal or whatnot. I'm not saying that. What I'm just saying is that like we have to really think of this team as an individual thing for this season. We can't base it off of anything that we've seen before as a Dolphins fan because historically and even in reality, this is something that we've never seen and something that we've never really dealt with before, dog. A really good Dolphins team.
It's so hard to get
I want
excited.
you to stretch back in your mind when we had a really good Dolphins team on both sides of the coin. You know,
it's really hard to get excited, bro, because at some point you're waiting for this shit to fall apart. You're just waiting for it to like go down, but you don't see it. I don't see it in this team. At some point, it always falls apart for us. We fucking end up with a mediocre record and a mediocre draft pick, and it's like, fuck, we were doing so good. But I don't see it, dog. I don't see it. I think the way that it's being built, the way that it's being projected on the field, the fun that they're having, because those guys look like they're having a great time. It doesn't look like they hate working for the Miami Dolphins. They look like they love being here, bro. And
it's always fun to win.
That's a championship team for me, bro. What'd you say?
It's always fun when you're winning.
It is, but we haven't won in a long time.
No, but you know, to kind of wrap up the show, we got to credit, the guy that we haven't really spoken a lot about today is Coach Mike McDaniels. He's really been in here and made a difference, dog. Like, not only a difference on the attitude that the players play with and like how comfortable they feel in the schemes and in the plays and whatnot, but like really how he expects them to play and what they're capable of doing. This, like I said earlier, man, for me, this is a brand new Dolphins team. I've never seen a Dolphins team like this. So it's hard for me to judge this team against other teams that I've seen before because they don't look nothing like it. Nothing
We were
like
saying
it.
even
last year. No, Martin, if you're talking about from last, no, hold on. Even offensive-wise, we were never the number one rushing team in the NFL. We are the number one rushing team.
Because we wouldn't run the ball.
Yeah,
so that's my point is what I'm saying.
Shout out McDaniels for making the adjustment.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've already seen how we went from, okay, this was the best that we ever had, and now like we're up here to the best we ever had. You know what I'm saying? So there's no point in looking back because we're never going back there as Dolphins fans. That's just the way I feel about it. You guys can give your last thoughts on that. Go ahead, Martin. You first.
Okay, so the only game, and you're saying the run game is the reason why you're seeing a whole different team, right? The only time we got slapped in the mouth, we stopped running the ball. Every other game, we've had a lead, so we've been able to run the ball. So let's see what happens when we get slapped in the mouth again. Do we continue to run? And that will be the ultimate test for this team. And that is my last thought. No, one last thing. Stop doing pitch plays. It never works. Never works. Stop doing pitch plays.
I'm with you, dog. I'm with you. Rax, go ahead. Give me your last thoughts on that. What do you think?
Man, I just think that we're an incredible team right now. Right now, like Martin said, everybody's happy when you're winning. We do need to get punched in the mouth. We absolutely do. This Carolina team did not punch us in the mouth. We had a 14-0 lead on us, and we did what we were supposed to do because we were supposed to beat them. We haven't came back from a good team. We haven't really played a great team. So I need to see that. They do need to get knocked in the mouth, and they need to fight, and they need to win for it to actually, be stamped and certified. Delusional
Dolphin Joel, take us home, buddy.
Another great week, another great win, another great episode of OnlyFans. I got to say, we're going to win against the Eagles. There's no doubt about it. That's going to be the one, though, that I can hang my hat on as a delusional Dolphin and say, this is why we're going to take it to the Super Bowl and win.
All right. I hear you. But if the Eagles don't go out to win, because if you look at the rest of the schedule, they got to play the Bills, they got to play the Chiefs, they got to go on the road a lot. Let's see how they end up with the rest of the record, and then we'll see how impressive that Eagles win next week is going to be. But for you, the fans, I got some exciting news. We got something on deck for you guys, ready for you guys to order, and that is this bad boy right here.
Sheesh.
OnlyFans stickers available on Sports with Soso Instagram. Make sure you guys send me a DM, and I'll make sure to get this out to you. $3 a sticker. Holla at your boy. For the delusional Dolphin Joel, Skylar Thompson, #1 fan Martin, and super fan Rax, this is your boy Soso. Thanking you again for tuning in for another episode of OnlyFans Week 6. Victory is in the books. We're looking forward to Week 7 against Philadelphia, and we're going to bring it to you here on Sports with Soso. It's your boy So. Peace.